All right. Welcome to another edition of the Current Era Podcast. I'm your host, Julian, and today I have the NBA Finals Game 5 preview for you. My brother Javar and I helped break down Game 4, what went wrong in Game 4 for the Warriors. KD, is he coming back? Is he not coming back? At this point, he's listed as questionable, so we shall see. Both of us think that he will play in Game 5, but we have different opinions on, if that will matter or not at this point. We talk a lot about the Raptors and just how awesome they've been in this playoffs, especially Kawhi Leonard. Is Kyle Lowry a Hall of Famer? I don't know. We'll answer that for you as well. And yeah, man, this is a really fun pod. Thank you again, Javar, for coming on the pod, man. You always do great. And if you're new to the pod, guys, please remember to hit that subscribe button so the episode will download automatically for you. Or you can just download the episodes individually, whichever you prefer. The downloads is what really count for me. So I appreciate everybody that's ever downloaded a single one of my episodes. And that's all I have for you in this intro, guys. So let's go ahead and get to the episode. We're here again with Javar to discuss this NBA Finals Game 4 and preview for Game 5. Javar, what's going on over there, man? How you doing today?
What's up, man? Doing good. Just got back from a good workout, trying to get my basketball skills back up myself.
Trying to get some points. You what's your rating right now? You about a 65?
Oh, my 2K rating?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about a 67.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you being honest. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this NBA Finals, man, because last time we spoke, going into this Game 4, both of us thought that it was a must-win for the Warriors, and obviously that just wasn't the case. In my opinion, it felt like that they got up to a great start. I thought that the crowd was behind them. I don't know about you, but I felt like Oracle was just really, really loud at the start of the game anyway. Clay was on fire. He started hitting everything. Even the team themselves, like they looked great for like the first 20, 22 minutes of that first half, and then they kind of let it go at the end. But what about you, man? Like what happened in this game for the Warriors? Like how did they lose this game?
Yeah, you could tell the Warriors were playing focused and desperate. The crowd was desperate, like I said. You could tell the intensity in the building, and they were playing well, moving around, almost like chickens with their head cut off. I almost think they got themselves too tired in the first half.
Okay.
And I think it was also a carryover in many ways from Game 3. Like I think Steph didn't have his legs. You could
No,
tell
not at all.
like his shot was just kind of funky looking. He was hesitating, and it's just sometimes it didn't come off smooth.
Right.
Clay, obviously he's the one that's been out of the game, so he had a little more energy when he was out there, and he did look good. But even with all that said, I mean, the Warriors, I think they got up to like maybe 11-point lead or something like that in the first half, but it didn't really get away from the Raptors.
Right.
Because Kawhi was, I mean, from the start, he saw his team didn't have it, and he just put them on his back in the first half, especially in that first quarter. He was, just really aggressive.
Yeah.
Just keeping the Raptors afloat. And then,
Yeah.
and then towards the end of the second quarter, Kyle Lowry and Danny Green and stuff would hit three, and Serge Ibaka, they hit shots just to keep them close. It was similar to how the Warriors were doing in the first three games, just trying to keep themselves close.
Definitely. Man, it's interesting because, Kawhi, I think Kawhi had 14 of the 17 Raptor points in the first quarter. I mean, at that point, we were already communicating like, holy crap, Kawhi is doing this, Kawhi is doing that. He looks great. But after the first quarter, like I also was like, wow, like the Warriors look great. Like just like you said, like they came out here with so much energy. Like they were running around, they were screening, they were hitting shots, they were awesome on defense. I was like let's go. But one thing I was noticing early was that they were turning the ball over. They were so sloppy.
I was gonna say they could have been up like 20 if it wasn't for Cousins just having like 3 or 4 straight turnovers in a row and just fouling and missing shots. He was so bad. He was almost like damaging.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have been better off just not playing him at all because he was like sabotaging them out there.
And yeah, man, I mean, that brings me to another person that came back, which was Kevon Looney. This guy, freaking cyborg out there. He's supposed to be out for the whole series, and he decides to come back and play tonight, which is great. They needed him because, like you said, Cousins was just god awful. But why do you feel like DeMarcus Cousins wasn't effective because, obviously in game one, it was his first game back in a month or however long, 2 months. So I didn't expect him to be effective. Game two, I didn't expect it either, but he was. Game three, he was just god awful. And then, I mean, in game four, he was god awful. Like, what's going on with him?
I think in game one and two, the Raptors just didn't, care about him. After he made that impact in game two, they started adjusting to him. It was like, okay, he's on the court. We're just gonna go at this dude
Right.
because he doesn't. He's not the best one-on-one defender already, and he's already compromised. And then he doesn't pay attention off the ball. There's so many times where he didn't make rotations, or he was just jogging down the court, not even trying to help be there.
Mm-hmm.
So they were just running him off the court, and they put him in a lot of pick and rolls because he couldn't defend in space. That's how Kawhi, we didn't talk about it yet, but in the third quarter he hit those big threes just because,
Yeah.
they were just dicing him up on the pick and roll. So yeah, I think just the game is just moving too fast for him, and he doesn't really have that feel. Like he hasn't played. I think he's only played 20, 30 games this year.
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, there was times where he had an open layup, but he's trying to be fancy and passing, do a shovel pass to Iguodala or something like that. And turnovers, like he just doesn't look like. And that's kind of what I'm worried about with KD if he was to come back. It's like if you're gone for too long, there's more to being rusty than just not being able to make a shot. You also just are slow and don't have that feel.
Right.
So he just looks out of place on the court.
Yeah, and that's something I didn't mention at the start, but yeah, there's no KD. Obviously with the last podcast, we talked about how he was out. They announced it very early that he was not going to play. So there's still no KD. This is a must-win game four. I thought that it was absolutely imperative that he play this game, but he's not healthy or whatever, which is something we'll get into. But yeah, I mean, just echoing your thoughts on Kawhi really quickly. So well, let me say this. Going into halftime, it was a 2-point game, I believe, or 4-point game. It was a 4-point game. And Kawhi comes out the gate in that third quarter and just dominates the Warriors. I mean, not just the 2 threes, but all the fadeaways he was hitting. And like these are heavily contested. Like this dude was just incredible out there. I mean, it looked like he could not be stopped. So let's go ahead and get into Kawhi, man. Let's talk about how dominant and awesome he was in this game.
Yeah, I mean, not only this game, but just
the series.
He's just been a revelation in the playoffs, man. He's just incredible. Do you realize he's averaging 31 and 9 rebounds, almost 4 assists, and he's on the cusp of 50-40-90. He's like 49% from field goal, 39.5 from three, and then like 88 point something from free throw. Like he's on the cusp of, like he's just so efficient, and there's high volume on each of those.
Yeah,
he shoots like 6 or 7 threes a game. Like I just can't believe how good of a shooter he is now. And it's not just like a fluke for this year. Really, he's been doing this for the playoffs for the last couple years. He steps his game up. He's an incredible player, man. I don't know, like he. I feel like if he was like more out there personality wise and more like trying to build his brand, like he could easily be the face of the league. Like he's so skilled.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, he's already got the Kobe and Jordan game. Like he looked like Kobe and Jordan template out there. Like those some of those pull up threes and fadeaways, I was like, wow, I've seen that before.
Right. Yeah. I'll be the first to admit about Kawhi. I mean, I was never a huge fan of his at San Antonio, but let's be real, who liked the Spurs? But I've always respected his game, but I've never seen this Kawhi. Like even in San Antonio when he was killing the Warriors, they were up by 20-something before Zaza Pachulia happened. I didn't see the type of stuff that I'm seeing in his game in this playoff series. And I saw something earlier that I wanted to mention. I just pulled it up. So Kawhi leads the entire playoffs in minutes. He leads the playoffs in points by over 100. He leads the playoffs in rebounds, steals, field goals, and free throws. That's ridiculous. Like this dude is next level, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, what is going to happen? Is he going to win the championship and leave?
I don't know that. I mean, there's scenarios here. So, in my opinion, this series is over. You don't go down 3-1 in the finals. I mean, the LeBron thing has so many factors, which is why it happened when this is a totally different situation. But
I don't
in my
totally
opinion,
agree, but
yeah, well, okay, but yeah, we'll get in a little bit. But yeah, in my opinion, this series is over. So, I guess one scenario would be Kawhi, if the Raptors win, Kawhi's gone because, why stay? I guess. I mean, he doesn't want to be there, but he went there and won them a championship, so the Raptors can't really hate him for leaving. Um,
Well, hold on. Let me argue this. Like,
mhm.
why leave? Like, you got a great team that is totally feature you as you get to do whatever you want to do and explore your game to,
Mhm.
to totally new heights. The medical staff that's keeping them afloat and just, let him do the load management thing.
Yeah,
Um, a whole country behind you. I mean, why would you leave? Like
because you don't
they
want
could
to be
offer him
there.
they could offer him the 4 or 5 year max, whatever it is that he can get with them. I mean, I'm saying I get that, like if we're talking pure basketball reasons, I don't think there's
Oh,
anywhere else he can go
yeah, no, no, no,
that
yeah.
makes sense. So
Especially
if it's a
because he's in the East too. So
yeah, so if it's about winning and if it's about championships and if you want to be the guy and try to, I mean, I don't know what he wants, but if
yeah,
it's like stereotypical star stuff, I mean, the Raptors have everything he'd ever want.
that's true. But I'm saying that I disagree because if they win, it'll be two championships, two Finals MVPs. Like it's time to get that bag. I mean he missed it. Well, I guess Toronto could offer him the biggest bag,
Yeah.
so that doesn't even make sense. But they can do it 5 years, 250, something crazy like that.
It's probably no because it's not the team he was drafted on. It's probably like 5 years, 190, something right in there, that range.
Ooh, shoot, I still take it. And if he goes anywhere else, I mean, they can't pay him that much, but
No, it'd be
it
like
could
four
start
years,
150.
150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, hey, 150 net to sneeze at. But still, even even if he goes somewhere, I mean, I mean, to me, his sole reason for leaving would be location. And it's hard to argue. Like I don't necessarily want to be in Toronto my entire life, but who knows? Like Kawhi is an interesting dude. So maybe he will want to be there. I mean, who knows? But
Nobody knows.
yeah, nobody knows, and he damn sure ain't telling nobody. It's all the speculation. But so going into Game 5, man, I purposely waited to do this podcast until Sunday because I wanted to hear what Steve Kerr and the Warriors are going to say about KD, and obviously he's listed as questionable. He got to practice today. So what are your thoughts on the KD situation? Are we going to see him in this series, and does it matter at this point?
I think he's gonna play. Vegas is now like they're bumping up that he's gonna be Finals MVP odds and all this stuff. So it seems like there's people in the inside, people on the know that think he's gonna come back. Um, and I mean, I don't know what percentage he'll be at. I
Mm-hmm.
assume he's at least 70%,
Okay.
and that's better than freaking Alfonso McKinney or Quinn Cook. So to be
Very true.
honest, that's what I was gonna say. Like I don't know. Like when the Warriors lost to the Cavs, it took some crazy events to happen. You acknowledged that, right? Earlier.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well,
Man,
isn't
but
this a pretty?
that's why
This
I
is a
say it's
big
different.
swing, though. This is a big swing. It's arguably the best player in the league, even at 70%. Like
Mm.
he's a big deal as opposed to like the role players, the non NBA level players that are playing in the finals. Um, I don't know, like that. Just his presence alone could help Steph and Clay, ease that burden, help Draymond. I think they could mess around. All they have to do is win this game. If they can
Mm-hmm.
win this game 5 and then go back to Oracle, last game in Oracle, you figure they're going to win that one. Like
Yep,
now, especially after how they went out in games 3 and 4.
definitely.
And then all the pressure. I mean, well, it's not all the pressure, but the home crowd in Toronto, the culos are going to be clenched right when they're at home in Game 7,
Oh yeah.
and things get crazy. You never, so and in Game 7, you never know what's going to happen. That's all it takes. The Warriors have to win this game tonight, so that's why it's all hands on deck. That's
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised if KD will come back. Actually, I would be downright shocked if he didn't play Game 5. I
You
would
know,
be
but
stunned.
I honestly wouldn't be shocked if KD doesn't play. At this point, nothing would surprise me anymore about this guy. There's so many people that are playing hurt right now. Like Steph, Draymond, Clay, of course, Kevon Looney, of course. Andre Iguodala. Like these guys are all banged up and hurt. But it's the freaking NBA Finals, so you play. And obviously, the injury has to be more severe than what they're saying. Recently, there's been reports of their teammates starting to, grumble and rumble about, hey, we're playing hurt. Why isn't he playing hurt? Type thing, which obviously you called a mile away. But I just, I'm just I'm so drained with the whole Katie situation, and I just don't think that it'll make a difference because even with him being 70%, I don't know if that'll matter at this point. Like they're down 3-1 with 2 home games in Toronto. I do agree with you that if they can somehow pull off a game five win, like that completely changes the entire series because obviously they're going to win game six and, they'll have game seven in Toronto. But I just don't see it. Like they have been grossly outplayed for all four of these games. Toronto damn near should have swept these guys. So I don't see it, man.
Yeah, but each game has been close too. It's not like it's been blowouts each game. Last game
Yeah.
they Toronto won by it might have been close to 20 points, but it was not like they were up 20 points the whole game. It was just
Yeah.
a big swing in the third and fourth quarter. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's not like it's well, now I'll give you this. I don't know what major adjustments Golden State can do other than deploy a 7 foot Hall of Famer, but
Yeah.
because they have tried just about everything. They actually finally started going small in Game 4, and it
Right.
didn't work because they don't have the wings to help. Like Serge Ibaka was just killing them on the inside. Like
Yes. He was
Draymond Green can only
destroying.
do so much. Yeah,
Yeah. Poor guy. But they need some scoring from those positions, like Andre Iguodala and Draymond Green and Alfonso McKinney or whoever they play. Like they need that DeMarcus Cousins. Like one of them guys has to contribute offensively somehow. And I know Iguodala's hurt and he's doing his best, but bro, you were terrible on offense right now. Like you're good for nothing. And
but that's the thing,
Draymond,
Julian. Don't you
can't
think
make a three.
KD? Don't you think KD could give him at least 20 in his sleep?
No, I don't. I don't think that. Like I think Kevin Durant's injury is so bad that he's going to be god awful. Like he's going to be game one DeMarcus Cousins out there. Like
You really think that? You think he can't
yes,
just at least post up in the corner and make threes, or just
I
get in the high post and just turn around and shoot it?
I
like
think no, bro.
he,
I think Kevin Durant's going to be a straight decoy out there. Like I'm not buying it until I see it. I think this dude is hurt for real. Like I honestly think that they're forcing him to come back. Like I really don't
no,
think he's healthy enough to play at this point. I just don't.
no. I don't think they're forcing him. I think the peer pressure is starting to get to him, and he's
That's
like,
what I
okay,
mean.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, because like how bad would it be on Kevin Durant's legacy if they lose this series 4-1, and there's all these questions about his health, and he ups and bounces on them. Like, how bad would that look for KD?
I mean, if he's hurt, he's hurt. It is what it is. I mean, if he can't play, like you seem to think he can't, I don't want the guy out there limping and possibly hurting himself. So
Mm,
if you can't play, then it is what it is. I think everybody understand that. That matters anyway.
right.
I say at least try though. The thing that's kind of off-putting to me more so is him not even being on the bench and not like at least trying. I mean, at least
Yeah.
just going out there and practicing and just ramping it up, just doing something. I don't know if he's scared or if his people were scared, but I don't know. Like you said earlier, it's the championship, it's the finals. Like
Yeah.
if you pull your calf again, you got all summer. And he's the type of player that's like, even if he was to tear his Achilles or something, I'm pretty sure he would get max offers from
Yeah, that's
everywhere they
that's
want.
that's literally what I was about to ask you. Like, if KD messes around, plays game five, and he pulls his Achilles and he's out for a year, do you still think somebody's going to throw him a max?
Absolutely, because he's not a type of player that relies on athleticism anyway.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that I disagree because it's Kevin Durant. Like, why wouldn't you throw him the money? But at the same time, that would suck for whoever signs him. Like, hey, we got him, but not
I
this
tell you
year.
what, the Warriors would definitely like to re-sign him.
I know. Yeah.
They'd be like, yeah, yeah, come on back. You can sit out this whole year if you need to. That's fine.
Well, he has a player option with them, so I guess he would probably just use his player option to stay there, hurt, and just
Well, I don't
leave
know. I
next
don't know
year.
if he was to actually seriously hurt himself. I think he would just look for that max security.
Think so?
So yeah, so I think he'd be like, all right, Golden State, y'all go and give me this 5 year max.
Mm.
Golden State would swallow hard, be like, okay, let's do it.
Okay, so I mean, if Toronto does win this series, do you think that the Warriors dynasty would be over? Because like obviously everybody thinks that KD's leaving. They're probably not going to re-sign DeMarcus Cousins. Who knows with Clay? I mean, out of those three guys, I only really expect Clay to stay. But what's your opinion on those three guys? Let's start with Cousins. Where do you think he goes, and like what happens with his career?
I don't know. I have no idea where he goes. I remember
Yeah.
after game two, I was like, man, this might have been good for his career, but now it's like, everybody's looking like, I don't know. Um, if he's to come back with the Warriors, I doubt it would be for the mid-level again because they need that money to. If KD leaves, they need to replace him with some kind of a wing.
Yeah.
So if he can come back to the Warriors on the minimum, I guess. But
Woo.
I honestly don't know who's going to be offering him more than like the mid-level or more than like 8, 9, 10 million a year.
Is he that bad? Has he fallen out that hard, or is it just because of injuries, in your opinion?
Yeah, the injuries, man. It's the injuries. Nobody's going to commit multi-million dollars to a guy who, hey, let's just call it what it is. I mean, even when he was with the Kings, teams didn't really want to touch him because he had attitudes and he didn't play
Yeah.
the right way. And then B coming off 2 major injuries, especially the Achilles. I mean, he I feel like he can get it back and still become a all-star level player, but that's a big deal, man. And I wouldn't be the
Yeah.
one offering him 3 or 4 years of guaranteed money. 'Cause what if
Okay.
he's just a shell of himself or he gets hurt again? Then it's dead money. So no,
So
I doubt it.
okay, so I'm about to say because obviously the Lakers have a max slot. Would you be upset if they wasted it on DeMarcus Cousins?
I would be pissed unless it's like a 1 year deal. If it's a 1 year deal, just to get me over to
Anthony
if they
Davis.
can't trade, yeah, if they can't trade for AD and they want to try to sign him next year, I guess. But I'd still be like, man, we're just doing these 1 year deals again. I
Yeah.
wouldn't like it, but
Okay. So what about
I
what
wouldn't
about
be
Clay?
surprised.
Yeah. What
Clay,
about Clay though?
I'm pretty sure he's coming back to
Yeah.
the Warriors.
You
So
think he's a lifer, him and Steph?
I think he's going to get another contract. I mean, 4 or 5 years, you never know what's going to happen. So,
Yeah, that's true.
um, but as far as the Warriors and their dynasty and them still being in contention, I mean, did we not just see what they did to the Rockets and Blazers? I
Yeah, that's
mean,
true.
they'll still be title contenders. It's just not a guarantee they'll win the title.
Right.
Now, I don't know who in the West can contend with them if the Warriors. I mean, if the Rockets can't, and um, I don't believe in the Nuggets or the Spurs, and the
Nope.
Blazers obviously can't beat them. So what? I mean, maybe the
Lakers,
Lakers. Yeah,
baby.
maybe we. And I was thinking about this the other day. As a quick aside for us Laker dreamers. Um, um, what if we were actually healthy and met these fools in the conference finals without KD? We could mess
Mhm.
around and be in the finals right now.
Yeah.
Because I
Wow.
feel like we were the only team that really could have matched up well with the Warriors in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I know that's just Laker exceptionalism and fanboy talking, but
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, look at what we did to them on Christmas when we were healthy. But that's regular season plus different, blah blah blah. But
mhm.
yeah, no, I feel you, man. I mean, I've always been on that train of thought as to where um, we just match up well with the Warriors, like we just do. And adding LeBron, that just helps our cause, of course. But who knows? There were so many things that went wrong with our season. I don't want to open up old wounds again. Um, but yeah, so you think Clay's going to stay? What about KD, man? The talk is Brooklyn or New York and everywhere else besides the Warriors. So do you think he's going to stay with the Warriors if, in fact, he plays or does not play? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that he plays and he's healthy and they lose in 5.
I'm actually starting to think he might stay.
Really? Okay. Why?
Well, because now if he comes back and they lose, it's like, well, y'all gonna go out like that losing? Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
Unfinished
clearly you're
business.
not. Yeah, clearly you're not an invincible team. You could lose, so why not come back and you know be the man on this team? And because really the narrative on the Warriors is going to change if they lose, right? Either
Of
way, it's going
course.
to be like, yeah, well now they're going to say they needed KD, so that's what KD always wanted in himself, right? He wants to be wanted, he wants to be needed, he wants to be the best player in the world. He had everything he wanted. Even before he got hurt, I was like, maybe he might stay with them because the narrative is changing.
Hmm.
Even if he comes back and they win, it's like, they needed him because he came back and they won. And
Oh
so
man,
why would you just
if
stay?
bro, if KD comes back and wins this championship for the Warriors, like first of all, Finals MVP. This is first of all, it's going to destroy Steph's career, in my opinion, or his legacy anyway, because um, it's like how do you not look at Steph some kind of way when this is your team, KD wasn't there, like y'all down 3-1, like you had really one exceptional game, and then all of a sudden this dude comes back from this injury, hadn't played in 2 months, and he just carries y'all to 3 straight wins. Like, woo, the Bay's gonna be shaky.
I don't agree with that because his career is not over, so he could still win more championships or Finals MVP or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
And then two, he's got a team where he's basically just him and his hurt wingman, and there's nobody else that can score. So It's really
LeBron did
he
it.
he he got them to they got to the finals. I mean, it's not like there's some bum ass team or went out
Yeah,
like Harden or whatever. Like, I mean, I don't. So I mean, what you want me to do? Like, even everybody's lost before. LeBron's lost how many finals? Five, six of them. I mean,
something like that. Who's counting?
so is it about winning or losing, or is it about getting finals MVPs? I mean, I don't know.
But that's the argument. Like, there's a lot of people that try to put an asterisk by Steph's career because he doesn't have a Finals MVP,
Well, his
and
career's
people
not
are.
over.
I understand that. I understand now. I'm talking like this speakly for the podcast. Like people literally think that like Steph isn't that great. Like he's not all time because he doesn't have a Finals MVP. I personally think that that's ridiculous. But it sounds like you do too.
Yeah, I mean, when Kobe had 3 rings and people was saying the same stupid shit to him, I was like, his career's not over. Like,
Yeah.
we can win more, and he can end up getting Finals MVP, and you're not gonna have nothing else to say.
Yep.
So just leave it at that. I mean,
I agree.
they could come back next year and win, and he could average 40 in a series or whatever. You never know what's gonna happen in this series.
Yeah.
Really, like I said, they just need KD to be an option out there. They just need somebody
Right.
because just him and Steph. I mean, him and Clay is just the Warriors' offense is too predictable if they're keep running off these curls. Like Toronto is doing a really good job of shutting that action down.
They
And
are.
honestly, and it's another thing, I'm not totally blaming Steph because I wish they'd run more pick and rolls and just give him the rock. You saw what happened in Game 3 when they just gave him the ball, just like, look, just be aggressive.
Yep.
He was amazing, but Steve Kerr just insists on him and Clay running off these curls and screens is better for the team and opens up the floor, which I get it. They've been to the finals 5 straight years. This is their primary offense, but to me, that's a major adjustment that Steve Kerr needs to make. And they've done this before, like against Houston in Game 7 last year, and against Houston this year in Game 5 and 6. Once KD went out, just
Yep.
Steph and Draymond pick and roll, just doing
Lethal.
that to death. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's like why haven't we seen that in this
I,
finals? Like I
you
don't
know,
understand.
that's a fantastic question. I think because Kawhi always guards Draymond and they want to keep him out of the action. I mean, I can't think of any other reason as to why they're not doing it because, like you said, like it was so lethal, especially against Portland. They were just killing him with that Steph and Dre pick and roll. I agree with you, man. That's a great point. I wish that they would run it more, but they just don't. I'm not sure why they don't.
And I don't know. I don't think Kawhi can guard Steph. I think Steph is a little too shifty and every time they switch on or Kawhi switching on Steph,
Steph just blow
Steph,
by him.
yeah, he just shakes him. Yeah, it's he's not a typical dude that Kawhi likes to guard. So
Mm. Okay. So, just to reiterate, Cousins, who knows? Clay definitely going to stay, and KD, you think he's going to stay even if he plays or he doesn't play, right?
I mean, I've said this whole time. Like I don't understand why he would go to the Knicks. I just don't get it.
Or the
I don't get it
Nets.
at all. The Nets, that's still like why? Yeah, you want to play with Kyrie so bad? Like what in the last year, 2 or 3 has made you look at him as like somebody you really want to play with? This dude is insane.
Literally insane. No, I feel you, man. I feel you. I mean, it's hard to say, especially for KD. Obviously, I would love to see him come to the Lakers, but that's just unrealistic at this point. Smart money would probably be on staying with the Warriors, especially if they lose, just because, like you said, they have unfinished business. But we'll see. We'll see. Game 5 will be, as you guys listen to this, Game 5 will be tonight. And we kind of touched on the subject a little bit, but I want to go back to Steph because this is Steph's 5th time in the finals. Currently, he's 3-1, which is great. He still has a chance to be 4-1. I don't see it. To me, this finals is over, even if KD's at 100%. But like, do you think that losing this finals and you going out the way they did with no KD, let's just say for argument's sake that KD doesn't play, do you think that it impacts his legacy at all at this point?
No, because like the fact that when KD went out, people were saying it was over already. They thought they was going to lose to the Rockets.
Yeah, I agree.
They got to the finals. I mean, it's still a great season. It's not obviously everybody thought it was a lot they was going to win the championship, but hasn't this revealed this team isn't as dominant, isn't as invincible as everybody thought? Like they're very thin.
Yeah, they are.
Outside of Steph and Klay Thompson, I mean, there's nobody that you can lock in is going to get you 10 points. How can
which
you?
is sad.
That's actually incredible that they swept the Blazers. It's incredible that they beat the Rockets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's they should have been swept already in this series. They're really thin, and these guys they're running out there. I mean, even their top seven rotation players, like four of them are banged up, four or five. Like Looney, like you listed them earlier. Looney is hurt. Iguodala's had a hurt calf since
Yeah.
the Blazer series.
Yep.
Steph, he tweaked his ankle and tore his finger
Yep.
against the Rockets, right?
Yep.
Clay, I think, tweaked his ankle and now he's got a tweaked hammy. Obviously, KD with the calf. So that's a lot of guys. And then Livingston is just old. Iguodala's also old. They're not that good.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
It's just really top heavy. So um, Draymond Green is a star. So they got three stars, but Draymond Green's not a scorer. So it's really Steph has only got one other option in Clay, and
Yep.
Clay doesn't dribble the ball. He's pretty much an off-ball option. So that's a lot of. I mean, I think Steph is doing a good job. It's not like he's playing bad. I mean, I think he's averaging like 30 in the series. It's not as efficient as he would like, but
Right.
it's not terrible. And he's doing what he can. It's just like, well, what the narrative is the Warriors, um, the strength in numbers is kind of like against good teams, you could really tell they can get exposed.
Yeah. You
So I
know,
think they just have to like even next year if KD leaves, they just have to get some better players. They need to go back to where in the 15, 16 days when they had Barbosa and Spates and all these guys that just had the roles and actually were NBA players and can make shots and can do things.
yeah, definitely. Man, one of the other narratives that I'm hearing a lot out here is the Warriors still have three All-Stars in the Finals MVP, so they should win every game. And I'm so sick of that because like you
Yeah.
you you literally just said it. First of all, Draymond Green is struggling to average 10 points in this series. And that's not a knock on Draymond Green. Like that's who he is. Draymond Green is not going to get you 20 a game in any series. Andre Iguodala is damn near 50. This dude, he's just sorry at this point. He can't play that well. He's still great on the defensive end, and he can still catch a lob every now and then. But his outside jumper is so unreliable. His mid range is so unreliable. And he's so hesitant to shoot. But
Hmm.
he's not going to average you 20 in a game in this series. Clay will, of course, and Steph will, but you need more than that. So that whole notion of three All Stars and the Finals MVP, let's pump the brakes on that because
The fact that the Raptors are able to do a box and one, that should tell you everything you need to know.
exactly exactly multiple times I might add. I
Right.
mean, my goodness. But so let's shift it to Kawhi a little bit. So obviously, Raptors are up 3-1. They have a chance to win it in Toronto. Winning, first of all, this would be Toronto's first championship ever, which we talked about in a previous pod. This would be huge for the city, for the country, but it'd be huge for Kawhi. I mean, have two championships, two Finals MVPs. Do you think that him winning in Toronto would make him want to stay anymore?
Like we talked about, I have no idea what Kawhi's thinking. I
Yeah,
think what the interesting question here is how do we think about him now? Like, what is his
yeah,
legacy?
right.
Because now it's just like he's officially one of the most clutch players of all time, like playoff performers of all time. But he's a guy who only plays like 2/3 of the season now. Like, it's pretty much going to be his thing, it seems. And he doesn't care about a brand or really to share his personality. Like, he's a really weird star.
Right.
But man, I bet so many teams are kicking themselves that they didn't try to offer more for him last summer. Like the Celtics, they could have gave up Jalen Brown for him. The Lakers maybe could have went a little harder, though it sounded like the Spurs just weren't trying to trade him to us at all.
Nope.
Um, I mean, the Raptors just went for it, man. It's crazy. Like,
Yeah. Shout out to Masai Ujiri because dude fired his head coach who just won Coach of the Year, traded away his franchise player, and got Kawhi, Nick Nurse, and now they're one win away from the NBA championship. I mean, just the damn stones it takes to do that from Masai Ujiri. That's just greatness right there.
and now this guy is officially one of those players that wherever he decides to do this summer, that changes the landscape of the league.
Oh
He's
yeah,
that great. Like him and Durant are the great whales of this summer.
yeah, no doubt. What about
How,
what
how,
about
how,
Kyle?
I just
Okay.
wanted to ask one more question in related to that. How do you think that it changes the mind of people, or do you think it changes the mind of people that trade for stars now? Like you that are, ask for trades, but that's not necessarily a place that they want to go on their list.
Yeah.
So like Paul George, the Thunder traded for him and he decided to stay.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard, the Raptors traded for him and they're about to mess around and win a championship.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, the Celtics traded for Kyrie Irving, and he kind of might have blew up their locker room. And he might bounce them. So, like Anthony Davis, should the Nuggets just like say, yeah, okay, we'll throw Gary Harris and some other Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. or something, just throw a package together for Anthony Davis and just go for it next year.
They
What's to stop
absolutely
them from
should.
trying that?
Yeah, I mean they should. I don't think that they will because the Nuggets were the number 2 seed, so they probably think very highly of themselves. They don't need AD, but yeah, I mean I think anybody that has the assets should try to trade for AD, whether he wants to stay there or not. Even though it's only for 1 year versus the two from this previous season, I still think that they should try to go all in because Anthony Davis is, in my opinion, he's a generational talent. I think that he's still a top 5 player in the NBA. He is a little brittle, so he probably won't play all 82 games. But
Hold on,
all you
let's
need
go
him
five
for
then. No way.
what? List my top 5 right now.
Yeah.
Okay. No particular order. I mean, you see, KD, Steph, Braun, AD, Kawhi. No particular order.
No Giannis.
No, I would take
No.
I would
No.
take Anthony Davis over Giannis.
No Embiid. I don't know. Embiid demolished AD last few times they played each other.
Yeah, but I mean, just the way that Embiid went out, it kind of makes me hard. Wow, whoa, pause. Sorry. It makes it difficult, I will say, to choose that right now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Embiid's number 6 on that list, in my opinion. But I would still take AD because I feel like AD is more efficient. He's more versatile. Even though like I love Embiid, and you know that. I mean, I love Embiid, but I think offensively, Anthony Davis is a little better. But it's they're very neck and neck. Like I mean, it'd be 85 and Joel Embiid 6.
And no Harden.
Don't make me cuss on this podcast now. This Sunday, on this glorious Sunday now. You're funny. Is your 5 different than mine? Do you have Harden or Giannis in there?
I think I got Giannis instead of AD.
AD. Okay. I mean, I can't be mad at that. I just I think AD is better, but Giannis is definitely he's beast. He's coming. He's definitely wow. Okay. All
I'll
right.
put it this way: Giannis led his team to the 60 wins in conference finals, and
Sure.
you could give him the ball, he could at least do something. Like AD, you got to give it to him in the post or do a screen and roll or something like that for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
He's not a playmaker, so.
No. Well, he doesn't. He's a big man. I mean,
I
but
know. I'm just saying. I value playmakers.
Sure.
Guys who play make more.
so would you say Giannis over Shaq?
Well, no, because Shaq is just absolutely unstoppable.
Okay, all right, okay. Just make sure. All right, so let's go move on. So I want to talk about Kyle Lowry because there's CJ McCollum posted a tweet last night or the night before, and he asked Twitter, "Is Kyle Lowry a Hall of Famer now?" If he wins this championship, obviously he'll have a championship ring. He'll be a 5-time All-Star with 3 starts, I believe. He's made an All NBA team. In my opinion, hell no. But what about you, man? Do you think Kyle Lowry's a Hall of Famer if he wins this championship?
Nah, that ain't enough. That ain't enough. I feel like to be like for his low level of accolades, they have to win like 3 rings or something.
Really? 3? Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he never was like a top 20 player, really,
Nope.
So I find it hard to believe he'd get in. And even I think if he was to ever get in, he'd have to win like multiple rings, get a Finals MVP or something. I mean, he's not even like where do you think he's better than Chauncey Billups? I mean, Chauncey Billups isn't in the Hall of Fame yet.
No,
I think he will make it, but I think he's past his second or third ballot. So.
Yeah, there's guys that don't have championship rings that are in there, and I think a lot of people like to think that just because you have a ring that means you're automatically qualified for the Hall of Fame, And I want to pump the brakes on that because that's just absolutely false. Um, you know,
No.
I respect Kyle Lowry and what he's done this season. I still think he's a bum, but he just doesn't have the talent to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, that's just putting it frank. Like this dude is not that guy. But
Well, I
I
don't agree
do
with
think
that because you don't have to have otherworldly talent either. Like there's guys who
that's
aren't
what I'm saying.
super talented. I
Right?
mean,
Yeah.
go
You
ahead.
know that's where I was going with that. Like I do know that there are guys in the Hall of Fame that don't have generational talent or franchise player talent. So I do think that he will get in the Hall of Fame, even if it's just this
What?
one ring, 5 All-Star. I do. I really think that the Hall of Fame is going to let him in eventually. He probably won't be
No,
first ballot, but
he's
I,
not
I
an
seriously
Olympian or
think
anything. Does he have
no,
an Olympic gold? No, like
no,
that's not enough.
bro, like dog, like I'm pretty sure that they're gonna let this guy in.
Ben
Like,
Wallace isn't even in. Ben Wallace is like a three-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's got a ring, five-time All-Star, like three-time All NBA. He's not in either yet.
yeah, hmm I agree. I mean, I just feel like they're gonna pity Kyle Lowry because he brought the city of Toronto a championship with Kawhi Leonard and
Well, that is a big factor, maybe,
yeah,
yeah. But I still don't see it now.
yeah,
But his career's not over. I think he's only quote unquote like 31, 32. So
right. So let's as we're winding down here, let's go ahead and get a prediction for Game 5. So obviously, you think Katie's going to play. I'll go ahead and say that he's probably going to play too. Who wins Game 5, man?
man, I guess Warriors. I think just because I want it to be a longer series, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors win. I mean, how crazy it's going to be at that arena and in
Yeah,
Jurassic Park and then the whole Toronto area. They're going to
right.
be super fired up. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for Warriors to get past that because the team I expect them to come out with a lot of energy. Um, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's. I hope it's at least a good game, but I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors just be like, we can't beat these guys and just
It gets
pack it
ugly.
in the third quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope that it doesn't get ugly, but I kind of don't see this game going any other way than a 25 point blowout. I think KD's going to hurt them out there, to be completely honest, because it's going to be his first game in 2 months, and you know they're
Your
down
first
three
8 million.
one. Exactly. Yeah. Well, not only that, but I'm sure he's going to try to jack up as many shots as he can because he's like, oh, they need me, they need me. But it's going to be ugly out there. Like these guys are champions, so I don't want to completely write them off because they are champions. They've been in this situation before, so it's not impossible. But if I was a betting man, my money, I'm betting 100 million on Toronto right now. Like this game's over. In my opinion, this game's over. The series is over, and Toronto's about to win a championship. So as we're wrapping up here, man, the next thing we have to look forward to is the NBA draft. There's a whole bunch of teams that are already making some moves. I think the Hawks have 5 picks in the lottery or something weird like that we talked about. Do you think? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to say they have at least 3 picks in the top 20. So they have 8, 10, and Brooklyn 17.
I
And then I
think
think
they
they
have.
have two second rounders as well.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, man, obviously, the Pelicans still have the number 1 pick. Do you think Zion is actually gonna get to go to New Orleans? Do you think they're gonna do some trade and trade away Zion?
No, absolutely not. No. I mean, they've already sold how many season tickets for next year? I
I
mean,
know, right?
the fans want the guy. Like, I think that's another reason why they need to just go in and trade AD. They need to just go in and fully embrace this is the Zion era. Just build around Zion. They will need AD and his that's all folks Looney Tunes shirts and his him being a distraction. And he just fully just this is Zion's team. So yeah, I think
hmm
that's what they're gonna do for sure.
Yeah. There's still people out there that think that they should trade their pick. Not, I'm sorry, not their pick. They should trade AD to the Knicks so RJ Barrett and Zion could play together. And it's funny, RJ Barrett was on First Take last week, and he was talking about the potential, that potential trade package, and him playing with Zion, and of course, he gave the typical, oh, I'll be happy anywhere type response, but you could tell that him and Zion playing together is something that he would really want. But yeah, man, I tend to agree with you. I do think that New Orleans, they'd be foolish to trade the pick, and they probably should just go ahead and get rid of AD at this point, especially before the draft or at least during the draft. So, everybody can know that, hey, this is Zion's town. Like, NOLA, Zion, let's get it.
I mean,
But
who would they trade the pick for? Well, who's out? Who else there? Who's a star that's worth the number one pick?
I have no idea.
And then who else would they select?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I just thought it was
So
comical. Like, you're going to
now,
trade.
here's the thing I'm curious about. I wonder, like Anthony Davis, he should have maybe sat and thought, like, man, maybe I might just want to stay this year
Right.
and see we can mess around and go to the finals or something. We got him, Zion, Drew, and I
Randall.
guess Randall's not going to be there anymore because he's got a player option, so I doubt he'll be there to want to
Mm.
back up Zion or whatever. So,
Oh, yeah.
um, and I don't know. So I guess they don't have too much wing depth, but still, that'd be an interesting team with Drew, AD, and Zion. But so
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like it's meant to be. So
definitely. So last thing I have for you, man. There was a report that came out a few days ago again that Lakers have reportedly promised Garland. I think his name is Darius Garland. I still don't know the kid's name, to be honest. Like I'm not trying to get invested in him because I don't think we're going to keep it. But apparently we promised him that we're going to pick him at number 4. So I just want your thoughts on that.
I think if that's true, it might be because that's the player that a lot of teams think is the best prospect there at 4.
Right.
So if they're going to trade him, at least that's somebody that teams want. So I think that's, I mean, and it does sound like he's like a lot of scouts and mock drafts have him as the 4th best prospect.
Right.
So it's kind of one
Yeah.
of those things.
We shall see.
Which like you said, I'd be shocked if we end up keeping the pick.
Yeah. He's a point guard too, so I don't why. But then again, a number 4 pick can come off the bench. So I mean, if we start Lonzo, we have him come off the bench, but still, there's just that added. We don't need those battles, to be honest. Like, we need Lonzo to flourish, but whatever.
Isn't he a clutch client too?
He is, yeah. So
That's
there you
probably
go.
that too. Hmm.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on the pod, man. Hopefully this isn't the last NBA Finals preview that we get to do, but it might be. So we shall see. But appreciate you coming on the pod, man. All righty. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Current Era Podcast. Thank you to my brother Javar for coming on the pod to help talk about this upcoming NBA Finals Game 5. What do you guys think, man? Do you guys think that the Warriors are going to pull it out and win in 7? To me, there's no way. But, I guess it'd be cool to see. I guess. Not really. But anyway, yeah. NBA Finals Game 5 tonight on ABC, 9 p.m. Eastern. No, I don't work for ESPN or ABC, so I don't know why I'm plugging it like I am, but I am. Please remember, guys, if you're new to the pod, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so the episodes will download automatically. Those downloads are what really count for me, guys. Appreciate it so much, and I'll see you on Friday.